Hello, my Contrast again. Today, I'm in another anime review, and this anime review is to Shimoneta. Of course, I'm just gonna say that for now, guys. But like I said in my previews, if the name is too long, and it's hard to say, I'm just gonna shorten it and maybe just say the first word or a word that's easy to remember. Now in episode 2, guys. So let's get into it. Actually. Oh my gosh! Oh my god! Oh, this series, guys! Oh my god, this episode! What the heck? I have now our main characters before you start to like it, but how you got forced into liking it is just, oh, bad luck, man. But we do find out that Anna's mother, we found out our student council president of the school, Anna, we found out her mother is, well, technically in charge of the law, how this law works. Now, we find out how strict her mother will more likely will with this law, because it seems like she more likely, from my opinion, from what I see in this episode, I'm worried about how the human race is going to survive. I understand banning maybe porn or vulgar words. I understand that, but banning someone who masturbates, it's a possibility that was gonna happen. If you just read the freaking contents, guys, from this what the fuck? Now, the reason I'm just bringing it up to this, guys, because it's impossible. It's impossible for no one to masturbate. Not to masturbate. No one to masturbate. It's impossible for no one not to masturbate. Because technically, part of human nature is sexuality. We, unfortunately, as we evolved from apes, we still have, our sexuality is still the same thing as the apes, our previous evolution state. So that means our sexual desires are still very high. But of course, we got minds now. We can think, so we can control them, or like manipulate or manipulate someone to control them. But not making them do something like that is the reason I'm complaining about why they can't, because technically you're risking health. If you guys remember correct, for us guys, it looks like masturbation actually makes us healthy. For some reason. Helps us to go to sleep. So, I have to admit that. It does. But, technically, what she's doing is that she will ban something that can't be helped. Because, for example, if you get aroused, and you can't control the urge, to masturbate, you won't really have to masturbate, because not able to do it is a pain, and I don't know how far, but it seems like it will cause problems if you don't do it. And from what I just seen in this episode, I know it talks about a lot and it censors everything that involves around sexual context. Like, the words get beeped out, they put like circle sensors around anything sexual or rude. They do that, I know that. But that shows you it's still a normal anime and stuff, and there's no sexies at all. But technically what I'm saying is that a human being needs to masturbate. And I'm actually also worried that if they're gonna ban masturbate, if there's a situation they could end up banning masturbation, I'm worried about the human race ever existing, because sex is also involved in that category. They're banning vulgar words, porn, which I can understand that part. But they're not banning masturbation, they have to freaking ban freaking sex altogether. I don't know how smart that. Now, I'm just saying this, guys, because now they're risking of the human population. Sometimes the dirty side of a human being is actually appropriate. In most human, and actually all human mind, except some perverts, but most human mind, including me, usually we think that dirty things are wrong. But when you think about it, guys, sex is still a dirty thing. And not all of us, and most of us, know we need sex to have babies and create children. So, but it's still pleasurable in a dirty way. If they're going to ban dirty content, they have to one day ban sex. Which unfortunately will increase the damn population of a human being. And if they want, and the only way I could feel like they can create children without doing biological experiments with cloning or robotics, the only way a conclusion I can see is that the man and the woman need to be trying to get the word. I'm trying to get the word. I'm trying to get the word again. Oh man, I hate my memory. I'm trying to get the word of. Well, basically, that means they have to be. The only way they can pull it off, the only way I can see them, someone can make a child, is that some. Fuck. What's the word? Well, it's basically to implant sperm into a woman. I have to say, I can't remember the word, so I have to say that. They have to figure out a way to implant the sperm into the woman's egg. And if they can't do it by sex, another way how gays and lesbians can get babies is basically donation, which of course usually the only way males or can get the donate sperm is to masturbate. But if they're gonna ban masturbation, they have to go to the doctors and have it physically pulled out of you. It'll be, oh my gosh, that is gonna be a bad thing. And not all countries have to pay for their doctors. Oh god, I'm just saying. Basically, if they're and most people don't want to do that. Most people don't want to do that. Just pay money to get a child. No one wants to do that. Who wants to pay something to get their own child? Who wants to do that? If you want to get their own child, you don't have to pay. You can just get if you want a child, you can easily get a free child. Oh boy. And if they're gonna, that's the reason I'm worried. That's why I'm worried, because if it sounds like the law, this PDM law, this goes out, and that they will ban masturbation. Sex is the next target, I take it. And Arnie's mother, holy cow! I don't know why she's doing this. Why she's banning it? I can banning porn and freaking rude language. But there's some, but banning rude language in a sense is also a bad thing, because technically some of the bad words out there are actually normal words that just got put out as content, which unfortunately evolved into bad words. So I just don't know what she's trying to do. Anna's mother's trying to do with this law. Now I know it's a comedy. I know it's a comedy. This is just for comedy. God damn it, guys. This is just for freaking God. Just comedy out there. Very good comedy. God damn. Of course, a lot of comedy does involve around for our age group sexual content, but I'm just if this goes to a darker tone. If this comedy does go to a darker tone, I want to know what Anna's mother's trying to do with this law, because there are a lot of problems with this law. Oh man, because health issues and population decreasing. Basically, you're just wiping out the entire human race. It will take a while, but technically, you're wiping out the entire human race with this kind of law. No, everybody has to agree with me about that, because technically, there's no the only way to. There are loads of ways to get yourself treated. Now, of course, the masturbation you could survive more longer with without doing, because it isn't all. Because of course you still can get cancer from masturbation, which I found out you can also have. But also, it's also a good thing to have as well if you masturbate. But also that guys, with more likely, I would say, if it's just you're good at bad masturbation but not good at bad sex, okay, I see how they could survive, but again, it's impossible because of human nature. They're technically no longer human. They're banning something that's been around on them since they were since they're freaking dinosaurs, or creatures that lived underwater. They're banning something that existed for thousands of millions of years. They're gonna ban it, and I'd be worried about. But anyway, that's much of the serious part of the movie going now, which is a bit weird. So I don't know why I went I know it's a bit weird for me to be serious about this topic, but if you just watch the series, if you you just think about the content, the comedy does end up distracting you, but I actually noticed a darker tone with this. Even though it's got powerful comedy, I can see a dark tone in this. If you guys just look properly into this, you can tell a dark tone. The comedy has a powerful suit, but because of my autism, comedy is hard to reach me. It's hard to make me laugh from jokes. Actually, more like get, but which he has. But most of what this anime shows for her was jokes, which for people with autism, most people with autism, there are people we can't get jokes. Well, we can understand what they meant, but it doesn't make us laugh. It doesn't make us laugh. Because of that, I can see the dark tone this anime has, which I know it's a comedy, but shocking out. Even though it's technically talking about porn and dirty, foul words most of the time. Technically, some of the things in that is actually very strict. They're banning human desires. They're banning what it means to be. They're banning some part of what is to mean being human. But right, that's much from the serious side, guys. But anyway, so Now, guys, the comedy, guys, still very good comedy, very good comedy. Like I did say, my autism unfortunately does not make me laugh as much as other people do. But technically, the comedy was hands down good. It was hands down, I can see how people can react funny to this series, and it is very funny. I'll admit that. And the animation, subpar. Like I said, I don't think a comedy series doesn't always have a good animation. Doesn't have a. And poor Anna. I'm gonna say poor Anna. Her family was like this, and she is now technically in that position. And just okay. That's what I got to say. Don't go too far into dirty topics in this episode because that'll be just weird. But anyway, that's my review on Shimoneta. Shimoneta. So guys, I hope you guys like it. Become Chinese fans today. If you guys want to see me family, I'll go in my description below. My address is there. And yep, hope you guys like it. Comment, like, and subscribe. See you guys later. Bye guys.